The music was soft when I noticed the empty chairs, row after row, reserved signs fluttering slightly under the ceiling fans, my family's names printed in gold, untouched. Nobody came. Not my parents, not my sister, not even my best friend. They were all across town, dressed in silver and lilac, raising champagne glasses at my sister's engagement party, on my wedding day. I smiled through it, for the photos, for him, for the strangers who'd come. But inside, my heart cracked like cheap porcelain. When the photographer asked us to cut the cake, my phone lit up. A message from my mother: "We need to talk, now." Then, 36 missed calls. That was when I knew something had gone wrong. But not how wrong. My sister, Claire, always had a way of stealing the light without trying. Or maybe she tried more than she let on. Growing up, I thought we were close. She borrowed my clothes, my books, even my words when she needed to impress. And I gave everything. When I met Ethan, she said he was too quiet for me. But she smiled at him like she'd already memorized his face. I ignored it. Love makes you blind. Family makes you stupid. 2 years later, he proposed. And 3 months after that, Claire announced her engagement. Conveniently, on the same date. She said it was just a coincidence. Mom said we could make it work. Apparently, make it work meant everyone choosing her over me. The morning after my wedding, I drove to my parents' house. The decorations from her party were still up. Pastel balloons, half-wilted flowers. Mom sat at the dining table, crying. Dad avoided my eyes. And then she told me. Claire's fiancé had backed out, said she'd been cheating. With Ethan, my husband. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just asked, "When did you find out?" Mom hesitated. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. Before my wedding. They all knew. That's why nobody came. Not to spare me, but to avoid the guilt of watching me marry him. I drove home that night in silence. Ethan was asleep on the couch, shirt unbuttoned, tie loose. My wedding photos still uploading on the TV. I stood there, watching his face flicker across the screen, smiling beside me, lying beside me. I didn't wake him. I just whispered, "You should have chosen her." And that's when my plan began. It took months. Patience was my weapon. First, I made myself small, obedient, sweet. I learned every password, every contact, every weakness. I transferred the savings, slowly, into an account under a new name. Sold my jewelry, moved assets like shadows. Then I started collecting proof, screenshots, emails, hotel receipts, and a little something extra, voice recordings. He loved to brag to her about how easily he fooled me. I let him think he was safe, until the day I wasn't. I filed for divorce quietly. He didn't notice, not until the court summons arrived at his office. By then, everything was ready. The same day he received it, I sent a package to Claire. Inside, photos of their messages, his voice, my wedding ring. She didn't show up to work for a week. When she finally did, her engagement ring was gone. Ethan called me that night, furious, desperate. "Did you do this?" I smiled into the silence. "I didn't do anything, Ethan. You did." The hearing came fast. He lost everything, half the house, his reputation, and the company my father helped him start. Turns out, betrayal isn't just emotional, it's financial too. I watched him crumble in front of the judge, and all I could think was how calm I felt. No adrenaline, no tears, just peace. Last week, Claire showed up at my apartment. Her hair was a mess, her hands trembling. She said, "He left me too." I looked at her for a long time. my sister, my mirror, my shadow. And I said, "Good. Now you know what family feels like." She started to cry. I closed the door before she finished. Tonight, I sat alone with a glass of wine, scrolling through my wedding photos one last time. The ones with the empty chairs. The ones that used to hurt. But now, they look perfect. Because absence is louder than presence. Because every empty seat was a warning I didn't hear until I did. I saved one last message on my phone, the one my mother sent that day. "We need to talk now." I never replied. Some conversations don't deserve to happen. Justice didn't come from the court. It came from silence, from patience, from letting them destroy themselves. And as I watched Ethan's company go bankrupt and Claire move back home, I realized something. I didn't lose my family that day. They lost me. And that's a loss they'll never recover from.